Hey guys, can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, click into the chat and say hello. Hey guys, this is Raman. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. So Bob Daw is actually in here as well, and we have a couple of the people from Realty Ninja here too. Just starting this one a little bit late. I was just waiting for a few people to show up. Awesome, Bob's here. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna start it up. So you guys can hear me, you can see the screen. So yeah, let's get going. So this webinar is for people that already have a launched Realty Ninja website and are not quite sure how to get the most from it. So it could be that you're new to websites or just new to Realty Ninja and you just want to get to know what are the things that I could do in the least amount of time and effort to get the most ROI from this investment. So this webinar is going to go into two simple rules. We're going to talk about things that you can do on your website to optimize it, things that you can do off your website to optimize it, and then we're going to talk about some resources that you can use to further your learning, and then we can do a Q&A. So actually, Bob's the only customer here today, and we have some of our team here. So I'd like to get Bob to ask some questions, and feel free to ask questions while I'm talking in the chat, and then we can make it interactive like that. Or if you want to keep them till the end, it's totally up to you. Okay, cool. So just by having a Realty Ninja website, you're already 10 steps ahead. I mean, 50% of all realtors in Canada still don't have their own personal website. So just having a, relatively modern, mostly automated, mobile-friendly website puts you ahead of the pack, generally speaking, already. Um, and so out of the 50% of realtors that do have a website, the majority are really kind of outdated. They don't have the design or usability or have technology that really stands out. And so this is not a webinar about how to be average. This is a webinar about how to be ninja. So your biggest challenge with a website, whether it's Realty Ninja or other providers, is getting attention. So attention is the new digital currency, and there's a severe supply and demand problem on the internet. So for the first time in history, we have so much content at our fingertips and just not enough time to absorb it all. So the average consumer is getting about 10,000 times the amount of content they did just 10 years ago in a given day. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TV, radio, it's all fighting for people's attention. So how do you break through that noise? What does it take to make your website truly ninja? So we've worked with thousands of realtors, build thousands of websites for over 17 years, actually. I started my first company with my co-founder 17 years ago, and we launched Realty Ninja just over 8 years ago. So we've seen a lot of realtor websites and we know it works. And so there's two simple rules that we say. Uh, Rule one, don't be generic. It's essentially, if you're fighting for attention, you don't want to be average, right? You don't want to be forgettable. And so in real estate, just kind of having your picture there with your logo and saying, I'm a great realtor, you should use me, and not putting any more customization in terms of your strategy or your content or your design, is forgettable. And it just kind of gets lost amongst all the other websites. And number two is create real value for your target audience. So it's good to do self-promotion on your website, of course. That's one aspect of it. But you really want to create value for your target audience. So we always say the website is not for you, it's for your visitors. So this presents a few opportunities. Yeah, there's a lot of noise, but clients also now have the ability now you also have the ability to specifically connect with hundreds or thousands of your ideal clients. You couldn't do this in the past. So 20 years ago, you would get a bus bench ad, and hopefully a small percentage of the people that saw your ad would be even potentially qualified leads. Most of them might be like high school kids or someone totally outside of your target. And so with the power of the internet, you're able to find your ideal clients fairly inexpensively and then drive them to your your own corner of the internet that you have full control over. So that's awesome. You can compete with seasoned agents and larger brands with modern marketing and technology. So this stuff used to be really expensive. Used to have like massive budgets to kind of get your name out there, but you can do some pretty incredible things these days with not a lot of time and money. You can dominate your niche by becoming the digital mayor. So imagine being the local celebrity of your town or your city or even your neighborhood by producing high quality content that's easily added to your website and shared. So, two really, really, really important questions you should ask yourself anytime you're doing anything on your website. Who am I building it for? And what do I want those people to do once they're on my website? So, who am I building it for? Is it for home buyers? Um, Drill down even further. What type of home buyers? Wealthy ones, first timers, elderly, all of them? You need to kind of define your target audience and then work backwards from there because all the decisions you're going to make around content, even like tone and how to write content, the length of your font size, the colors you use, the imagery, everything needs to be tailored for that ideal customer, the person you're building the website for. So once you have a clearly defined target audience, it'll just make everything easier because you're writing for their ears, you're designing for their eyes, and not trying to be generic, which, as we know, is not memorable. It won't break through that noise. So what do you want them to do? Do you want them to call you? Is your website just meant to be a glorified business card or brochure? So it's just like, look at these accolades I have and build your credibility? Or do you want to get a seller lead from it, a buyer lead? Just like dating, it's probably too much to ask for meeting you right away if they don't even know you. So if you can demonstrate your awesomeness first and then ask for their phone number, that's the kind of winning combination for internet leads. Okay, I'm just gonna find the next slide here. Okay, so a truly ninja real estate website should establish you as the expert in your industry, niche, or neighborhood. That digital mayor status. You want to be the go-to person or team for that topic. You don't want to be just another realtor. You want to be the first-time home buyer condo specialist. And it's not to say that you won't work outside of that, but you really need to pick at least one thing that you're going to be an expert at. And saying you're an expert across everything just doesn't work. Nobody believes that. So an ideal website should impress your sellers by properly showcasing their homes online. So sellers' demands are evolving with technology, and as marketing moves forward, they're going to expect you to have a mobile-friendly site that their listings look great on with beautiful photos and easy navigation, all that kind of stuff, because they want more eyes on their properties, and that's one of the reasons why they came to you. It should clearly demonstrate your experience. It should highlight your areas of focus. It builds trust to break through that digital barrier. What I mean by that is you're a human being and the person that you're interacting with online is a human being, but there's this website in between. There's these screens and gadgets and text and everything. So how do you break through that and actually build that connection and build that trust? And so that trust factor is one of the most important things in real estate because it's a very relationship focused industry. So you could build new relationships. You could maintain them with fresh content and updates. So writing blog entries, talking about the market, having your Facebook feed, all these kind of things on there will keep people coming back. It'll represent you 24/7, and it's often the first impression people have of you. And I think one of the best parts is it's measurable. So you can track the results of your hard work. If you're spending a lot of time writing about something, but you look at the analytics and nobody's going there, nobody's reading it, you can stop that effort and know, okay, well, that that I have proof that that didn't work. And of course, provide value to your target audience and not just you. Having said all that, a website is like a sweet, sweet Ferrari. It's sleek, it's powerful, it's capable, but it still needs a driver to win races. So we are the company that provides the website, the software, this amazing, capable Ferrari, but it still needs a driver. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do on your website to drive it. So number one is content. So blogging, content resources, publishing articles on your blog at least once a week, ideally once a week. And if you can't do once a week, once a month or even once a quarter, just do something regularly. And we say the HUN acronym. So when creating a resource, a piece of content, or a blog post, make sure it's helpful, unique, novel, or new. And that way it's just more memorable. Inbound marketing is just a fancy term for writing stuff on your website and then people becoming it, like finding it in search engines, getting attracted to it, as opposed to you outreaching them with ads. So this is a kind of an outdated screenshot, but it just shows you an example of a blog post. So Katie here, she's written a post about spring market and she's got, you can see she's done about 1 or 2 a month. So it doesn't have to be a long one. Unique descriptions on listings and MLS pages. So IDX data is considered duplicate content by Google. So that listing data is on thousands, well, hundreds of thousands of websites. And so how can you make search engines reward your website for that data? Well, if it's your listing, you can differentiate that listing on your website than the instance of that listing on other MLS-powered websites. So if you were to write a unique description, add more photos, embed a video, just kind of pretty up and enhance that listing on your own website, that's enough to differentiate it. Because a lot of times what happens is people will search, like even your seller, your client will search for their address, hoping that they see your website show up in the results. But Google doesn't really know or care who the listing agent is. It doesn't have that data. It just says somebody's searching for 123 Fake Street, and I'm going to show the most relevant result. And so maybe rew.ca is the most relevant result, or maybe your personal website is. The only way Google might rank your listing on your website higher is if it's unique, if it has a little bit more information than the MLS data that's on thousands of sites. So that's a huge opportunity. Most agents don't do that. At the top of your MLS pages, you should write something. So a little description about the neighborhood, maybe some pictures that you took, a video that you filmed even on your phone. That alone will trigger Google to rank that page higher than just a regular search page on other websites. Okay, so here's an example, just a really kind of crude basic example. We have an MLS search here and then just a picture of Cole Harbor and a little description. That is often enough to just differentiate. So a couple more things on the on-site category. So there's keywords and alt tags. So keywords tell search engines what your content is about, and it helps them place your content in front of the right people. So they used to be tags. Keywords used to mean these little bits of code, these little tags that you put into the code on your website. So you would look at a page and it would say North Vancouver Realtor, Realtor North Van, Lower Lonsdale Real Estate. Those were the tags. So that's no longer the case. Google just automatically scans through the content of your website, reads every word, looks at every picture and every video, and it generates those tags, those keywords on its own based on the content of your pages. So it's reading the pages, and if it's all about North Vancouver real estate and that term shows up, on multiple pages naturally, then it'll say, okay, this site is about North Van real estate. That's the keyword it's targeting. An alt tag is just a text version of a photo, and so you could do this with RealtyNinja sites. Any photo on your website. Google's not super smart enough to perfectly know that a house or a picture of a house is like a North Vancouver house. It'll know it's a house, but you could actually tag it with something like North Vancouver house, and that'll show Google that your website is more about North Vancouver houses than general houses. Um, but beware, make sure you're writing for people. So a lot of times you'll see website owners try to trick Google, and they'll write things like real estate website, realtor website, the best realtor website in the world. Welcome to my realtor website. And it just sounds fake. It sounds like it was written for tricking like search engines. And so they pick up on that. They penalize you for it. So make sure you're writing for people and it sounds natural. This is an example of a tag. So here we have a picture of Katie. Well, Google probably knows this is Katie, but let's say it didn't. It would just say, Caucasian female or something. So, but this way, if she puts Katie Burkhardt, Vancouver real estate expert, as the tag on that image, there's no room for error. Google will know that that's what that tag is, or that alt text. Sorry, I keep saying tag. Um, about us and testimonials. So one big reason people visit your website is to understand the person behind the business. So if you're a realtor, you're in the business of relationships at the end of the day. Maintaining and building relationships, trust, credibility. Those are the biggest things that are going to drive your business beyond fancy widgets and little tricks and gimmicks on ads and stuff like that. It's you, the person, right? So if you really showcase your personality, a good bio, a short video, something like that, unique content, that's what's really gonna to break through that digital barrier and build trust with your audience. Testimonials are amazing. Word of mouth is super powerful. Most realtors get all their new business, or at least a huge percentage of it, from referrals and word of mouth. So show that off on your website. So Google reviews, Facebook reviews, all that kind of stuff. Video reviews go a long way. You can even film them just on your phone. They don't have to be perfect. So here we have a very, very basic example. Janelle's got her name, her picture, her contact info, and her email on an about page right there from the top nav. Really easy to see. She's not hiding anything. Sometimes you'll go to a realtor website and it'll be called something generic like VancouverHomeSearch.ca or something, and you won't even be able to tell who are the people behind this website. And so people will not fill in forms with their name and email and phone number and all this private information if they don't clearly know who you are and see you smiling and build that trust layer. It's just not going to generate a lead. So calls to action, CTAs, are just buttons. So they're links or buttons. It's just people come to a page, they read a bunch of content, and then you want them to take some kind of action. Usually it's filling in a form or calling you or emailing you. But it could also be other stuff, subscribing to your mailing list, entering a contest, viewing special content, downloading a PDF, whatever it is. You want to make sure that every single page has that objective, that final result. So if you spend a bunch of time writing this amazing blog article about the spring market, you want to say, join my mailing list because I write articles like this every so often. They're really valuable and I can email them to you. As opposed to just writing all this beautiful content and then just ending it with, okay, goodbye, and then they leave. So here's an example of some CTAs. Thomas has just really shown what he's all about. He's got his face, he's got his name, he's got his phone number, he's got a simple navigation, he's got his tagline. He says, get my monthly report, click here. And then he's also got 4 buttons right away above the fold that just say, this is kind of where I focus. So if I'm looking to buy or sell in Yaletown, I'd rather work with someone that's an expert in that area than just someone that says, search for your home in Greater Vancouver or BC. It's too generic. And so there's a bunch of stuff you can do off your website that actually benefit your website as well. So SEO, SEO in a nutshell. Everything you do on your website and social media tells Google a story about you. The first 5 results on Google get almost 70% of all clicks. If you ever need to hide a dead body, you should place it on the second page of Google. Where am I? Okay. So backlinks. are a huge part of SEO. They're probably the biggest factor in SEO today is backlinks. It changes, obviously, Google, their algorithm, they have over 450 factors, the main factors that people know about. Their algorithm is secret. Nobody kind of knows the exact formula, but there's about 450 things they look for on your website to rank it, ranking factors. Backlink, I would argue, and the internet kind of agrees, is the number one thing they look for. So what is a backlink? It's a link from another reputable website to your website. And a reciprocal link is when you also link back to them. So for example, if you have your website listed on your brokerage website, when you go to the brokerage website, you click meet the team or search for an agent or whatever, and then you see your little profile there with your picture, and it says visit my website, and you click it and it links to your personal website. If the referring site, so your brokerage site, has high ranking and high credibility itself, it's got that authority, and it links to your site directly, some of that authority is passed onto your website. And so it's about getting a bunch of those from as many reputable sources as possible. Now, if you get backlinks from thousands of fake websites, like a lot of people do, they try to trick Google, Google will find out and blacklist your website from the internet. So number one place you can do it is on your brokerage site, and then there's other places like Yelp and REW, Rank My Agent, Google Places on the map, um, all your ads, obviously. Um, and then a huge bonus is go reach out to popular local blogs and say, can I write something about real estate on your blog? And as long as I can get a little link at the bottom of the article back to my website. Usually they'll say yeah because they're looking for content and you're looking for that backlink. Social media. So there's kind of two broad categories, publishing and engagement. So you publish something, let's say you post your listing to Facebook and you're like, hey, I got a new listing or I have an open house. That's cool. Now, Google is going to look at how engaging that piece of content is. So, did people comment? Did people share? Did people like it or love it? Those kind of engagement metrics are really important. So, it's not just publishing on social media, it's getting engagement. And so, if you're posting stuff about your open houses every week and you never get any comments or likes or anything, it could actually hurt you. So what I would do is post something engaging. So maybe post the picture of the open house or that listing that you got and say, do you guys love open concept kitchens as much as I do? What are your thoughts? Here's a picture of my new listing with an open concept kitchen. What do you guys think of it? And then that'll kind of get people started to reply as opposed to just being like, oh, pretty kitchen, next. And everything should be going back to your website. So if you are posting listings to Facebook as a gallery, your comment should be visit my website for more photos, a floor plan PDF, and to reach out to me. That everything should be coming back to your website, and that is going to really drive your SEO. Um, so there's kind of two ways that you can get traffic to your website. Paid or organic. Organic is kind of a long-term free or just time invested option. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication. You basically produce really good, high quality, relevant, unique content on your website on a regular basis, and you earn traffic. So people link to your site, you get those backlinks, people find you on Google, they interact with you and engage with you on social media, and they end up on your site, and that is organic traffic. So that's awesome. If you can do that, commit to it for at least 6 months before you see any major results. It could even take up to a year, which is great for long-term businesses. But if you're just starting out, maybe some paid traffic to get things kicked off isn't such a bad idea. What we usually say is if your website's not performing, or it's a brand new domain and there's no history on it, nobody knows about it, there's no backlinks, there's no social media engagement, then just run a few ads just to get that initial bump in traffic, and then you can build on that with the organic. So supplement some paid ads and then play the organic game long term. More important than anything is stay consistent. And so you don't need to do everything right away. You don't need to be perfect at everything. Pick something, do it every month, and then a couple months when you're comfortable, add another thing and just keep going. It's a multi-year process. It's just like building a business. A website is like an organic, evolving tool. And used right, it could be like that Ferrari just crushing and winning new races. So I've talked about some basic stuff here, really, really high level stuff just to get you started and inspired. But we have an ebook, so just go to realtyninja.com/downloads. It's a three-part ebook. It's hundreds of pages of amazing, really good resources, and it's all free. We also have the dojo, which is our learning center. Go to realtyninja.com/blog, and you'll see hundreds of amazing specific articles that dive into just backlinks or just SEO and that kind of stuff. And like here's some sample chapters from the book, so that it'll show you like how to dominate with a website, tools that you can use at each stage of your client's journey. So if you have a prospect or a client, an active client, or somebody that's repeat business with you, what are the different tactics and tools that you can use from your CRM, your website, different apps, all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. And so, yeah, that's kind of my talking portion. I wanted to know if you guys have any questions, especially Bob. If you guys want to type any questions in the chat there, I see Bob is typing. That's awesome. Oh, cool. Okay. Just getting going on marketing. So let me actually pull up your website. So I can give you some specific information. So I'm pulling it up on a separate browser here, a separate monitor. Okay. So I see the 276sold.com. That was the first result in Google. Is there a different website that you're switching to Realty Ninja? 123sold.com. Okay, I'm just loading that up. Bear with me. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is a Realty Ninja site. It is on Katana. It's pretty good. Like I think that for your senior specialist demographic, it's not bad. Like in terms of, it's really simple. It's got, nice big navigation, um, clear, simple calls to action, decent size font. Maybe the font could go a little bit bigger. Nice photos. So the let us help picture is really good because it says right away who your target audience is. Um, Yeah, okay. Is there any specific questions you had that I could give you a quick uh, feedback on? I'm just pulling in a video on the front banner. Yeah, so it like I mentioned in that slide, who are you building this website for and what do you want them to do? So if you're building this website for an elderly audience, so let's say I'm reading actually your theme customization order form. So 50 to 80 plus year olds. Now, 50 to 80 plus year olds, especially on the higher end of that spectrum, might get a little overwhelmed. The video on the front banner is a great idea if you have a solid internet connection, a relatively fast computer. Um, it doesn't really work on tablets and phones, so you'll notice most websites that have a video on the front banner, if you load their homepage on your phone, it'll just be a static picture. So really, it's for desktops only. I like videos on the front banner in terms of just like that first impression, like that really nice kind of high-end look. Um, but yeah, I'm a little hesitant because of your mature audience. The target audience is going to be potentially overwhelmed as long as the legibility is okay, and I would say maybe not like the content of the video you'd have to be careful with. Um, Focusing the video on people would be a good route, not on you know, not like showing like software or anything too techy. Just showing them results, the results that they want. Having elderly people that look and act like they would will be good because they'll resonate with that. So if I am a 72-year-old male, white male, and I load your homepage and I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like the people I hang out with, and that's the kind of results I'm looking for. You're showing in the video, it's you shaking their hand and they're nodding and they're asking a question and you're kind of taking notes. And then you're presenting them something and they're excited, and then you see a scene of them signing off on the documents. Um, that short kind of storyline, relationship focusing on the service, on the end result, and focusing on people, I think that would be a good approach for a video. Um, but yeah, what about Facebook ads? I believe my talking about we'll be looking at Facebook. Yeah, so you're right. Facebook actually has, out of all social networks, it has the oldest age demographic audience. Um, Most millennials are not even using Facebook anymore. They've kind of switched over to different things like Snapchat and Instagram and stuff like that. So Facebook's highest, engagement is in the 35 to 55 demographic. So you might be able to catch some of those 50 to 60-year-olds on Facebook. I know personally, like my grandmother was on Facebook for a few years there. So it's like people are using it in the much older, like 80 plus. Um, yeah, Facebook ads is the only online ads I would recommend spending money on for you because you can target by age. Google ads, you cannot target by age. You can target by location on Google ads, but I think in your particular case, age targeting is the most important factor. I'm just looking at your site here. So yeah, Roxanne actually replied yesterday, last night. So whenever you get a chance, just check that out. She had some good feedback regarding um, your target market and how she might be able to get the perfect design that really just resonates with them. Yeah, she made a really good point. So dark backgrounds with light text arguably are not good for your demographic. I would stick with a white background with like pure black text and a slightly bold, kind of bigger font. Um, as our eyes age, they have a problem, they have issues like challenges focusing on white text on a dark background. Perfect. Yeah, I think your approach is right. Those notepads, brochures, calendars, that age is using that stuff. If you are targeting first-time home buyers, I would say don't do that. But because you're targeting a specific geographic area and a specific age range, you're doing it perfectly right. That's what I would recommend for sure. Awesome. Um, Any other questions? And we could totally set up a phone call with the support team, with the designers, if you had any questions like after this. Awesome, Bob. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the Realty Ninja team for being here too. I'll send a recording by email to you if you needed to kind of recap anything. Um, and yeah, feel free to check the email from Roxanne or give us a call anytime. We're happy to help. No problem. Have a great day. Take care, guys.